Hi, so in today's video, what we're going to be looking at is change data capture. And as you can see, we've got a module here, which is a nice module that you can start with, understanding the basics of change data capture. So looking at what change data capture is, you can have a look at streaming, what streaming events are in general, and the kind of the concept of event-driven architecture and why it might be useful. As you can see here, what we're going to be doing is we as Salesforce are going to be publishing an event, and we don't necessarily care who subscribes to the event. We're going to be publishing it to our Salesforce event bus. That's part of the Salesforce platform. And then if we had an application such as SAP, Workday, Oracle, subscribing to that, they can then deal with the changes that are captured as part of their subscription. Um, you could have a piece of middleware that subscribes to it and then processes and sends to one of these, or you could have them directly subscribing to it. I guess it depends on your architecture of the integration. Um, Subscribing to an event channel. So that's the fundamentals of this is you are going to be using either a standard object or a custom object. You can see in this case, in this module, you create a custom object. But what you want to do is you want to head to change data capture within setup. As you can see, I'll do that now. So we go to setup, we go to change data capture, which is under integrations, and really nicely and simply, all you need to do is select the object that you want to publish changes about, and pass it over to this side, the selected entities, and click save. Um, and that's pretty much all you have to do in Salesforce. That is the be all and end all. You select an object that you want to publish changes about to this Salesforce event bus, and you click save. However, the next bit is the bit more of the hard work is the subscription part of it. And what you're going to be doing is using the EMP connector. And there is a generic kind of templated EMP connector at force.com EMP connector, the force.com GitHub repo. And this gives you an example of how to subscribe to events using Comet D, and that's what we're going to be looking at in a second. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to clone this repo, and then we're going to do exactly this. We're going to subscribe to it. Now, as you can see in this demo, we're going to be using username and then password with the security token appended. However, that obviously isn't the best practice when you're doing integrations, but for the purpose of this demo, that's what we're going to do. You'll see my username and password with security token. However, it's going to change after this video, so by all means try and use it, but it's not going to work. And so these are some of the things that you can see can happen. So we can have change data on create. Well, it will fire on create, update, delete, and undelete. So what we will do is, now that we've selected account and case, we're going to head to the account record, for example. And now what we want to do is we want to have a quick look in VS Code. So I have run this command, the one that was there on the Trailhead module. I've substituted my username and my password with security token in there, and what you can see here is the channel. Now in this case, channel is data slash account change event, because we're looking at the account change event. Fantastic. And as you can see, I've already been playing with it this morning. Account change event is actually an object in Salesforce, one that is created for this purpose. However, if it's a custom object, you will not be using account change event. In fact, it probably shows us in the Trailhead module, but you will actually be using whatever the custom object API is, with an underscore and change event, because because it's a custom object, you have the underscore, and I'm sure it will tell us, there you go, employee underscore change event. So for custom objects, you have this double underscore here, and then change event for standard objects, the double underscore is not there. So in VS Code, in my terminal, I have subscribed to change events on the account. Now, what I'll do is we'll subscribe to case instead, just to show it working for a different object. And we have case selected already as one of our entities. I'm in the wrong folder, which is fine. I want to be in there, so go to that. Let's change account to case, and there we go, subscribed. And we can see it's subscribed to the default of -2, which is any new events and any stored events will be captured. And you can see what the numbers mean in this module. Basically, it's the different in the event series. So you can have -2, which is anything stored within the last 24 hours. And then any new events that happen. -1, which is just any new events, and then if you were, for example, to pick 1, 2, 3, they would be the replay IDs for event 1, 2, and 3. So let's go over to cases. We subscribe to cases, so we're going to create a new case in this example. Let's just fill out the required fields and click save. So I've created a case. Let's have a look what that shows. Here we can now see that because I'm subscribed, I've received the payload, which shows us all of the new field values. We can see that its entity name is case, so we can differentiate which object it was. And if I just expand this window slightly, we can see that change type is create. However, if I was to go and update any of this, so let's put the type to mechanical. Now if we look, we get another, there you go, you've just seen it pop through. We can see that all we get this time is the payload consists of last modified date, obviously, because that is going to change every time we make an update, and the other field that was changed, which is type, and that's to mechanical. And we can see further along here, where is it? Update there. Change type is update this time rather than create. Perfect. So in the next video, what we will do is we'll look at the other streaming events that are available in the streaming API. And we've got a comparison chart here. However, just so that you can see, we've looked at change data capture events today, and we can see the ways that you can subscribe to change data capture. As you can see, that we can only subscribe to change data capture by these two means. Apex triggers. We can have an Apex trigger on our change event object, but we can also subscribe via Comet D. And then that's using either JavaScript. We use Java in our example, or any other languages that you want that can use Comet D. We can also see that we can receive auto-published events, receive version event schema. We saw that as part of the payload, and there are some field level security that we can get. We can get encrypted field data, and we can replay. We saw the replay number of -2 by default. Event retention period, fantastic. We actually have 3 days there. So that's just a little bit of a comparison. We'll go into the other 3 streaming API events in another video. I hope that was useful. Really simple overview of the EMP connector, subscribing to change data capture events in this example. We will look at the other types of things that you can subscribe to. So for example, platform events, generic messages, and topics. But for this is change data capture. I hope that was useful. Thanks for watching and listening.